Welcome to another trial and error DIY, and happy Saturday, everyone. Today, this recipe is brought to you by China's Sichuan food with Elaine Guo. The link is provided in the description below. And let's get started on the ingredients. You'll need tapioca flour, brown sugar, and also some water. What you'll want to do is put the brown sugar and the water together to get a brown mixture like this, and constantly stir until you get the bubbles. And from there, you're going to put half of the tapioca flour into the pot, and basically once you get all the half of them in, you want to make sure you stir, and you're going to stir it for 6 seconds. All right, so 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once it's done, you're going to actually put the pot off of the hot stove and put it into a cooler one and pour the rest of the flour in and constantly stir. So that is what the recipe told me to do. And as you can see, as I'm trying to mix it in there, I slowly get a very viscous, almost a Newtonian oobleck. And I didn't want to admit that I messed up there yet, and my cat didn't want to admit it either. But what we tried to do to kind of salvage the flour is that I thought perhaps because it was too dry to add a little bit of water. And basically that's what I'm trying to do right here. Perhaps if I hydrate the oobleck monster, she will give me a really nice tapioca flour eventually. And I tried to massage the hydration in there because I was told that maybe if it was a little bit too dry, you could try to salvage it with maybe some liquid. You can do either like syrup or water or even milk. I tried to do water because I just didn't want to dilute the sweetness. But as you can see, I'm really struggling here, and honestly I counted this first try as a fail. So there's the effort, the error in trial and error, I guess you could say. So I decided to do a second idea where I boil the water from a thermos and try to mix everything into a bowl. I tried to follow the same process provided by Elaine in her original video, where instead of using a pot, I decided to put half of the hot water that we needed into a bowl, and there put half of the flour as shown there, try to mix and stir, and slowly try to incorporate into the mixture. And as you can see, I'm really trying to make sure that I'm incorporating as fast as possible, because what Elaine mentioned in her blog was basically these type of oobleck substances that you get usually tend to occur if the flour and also the liquid mixture isn't incorporated properly. So when you're doing it, just make sure that you're stirring as fast as possible and really incorporating it as much as you can. But unfortunately, as you can see, I still got the oobleck. And I thought perhaps maybe what could help is that because it was too watery, we're going to microwave her. And that's what we did right here. We're gonna try to microwave her for at least a minute, and we kind of left her alone there to do her own devices. And once we got her out, unfortunately, we got this dough. And even though it does look really similar to the tapioca flour that you're supposed to have, she was very hearty and very, very tough. So what we decided to do there was, again, try to hydrate the Frankenstein monster I created, but eventually I decided to do a third try instead with a new batch of tapioca flour because I ran out. And what I decided to do was kind of follow what I did in the mochi recipe, where I put all the dry ingredients together first and also the wet ingredients, mix them into a solution as shown there. And then once you get the watery solution fully incorporated, that's when you're going to turn on the heat and let it simmer. Eventually, as you keep on stirring, you're gonna get the gelatinous mixture that you see from there, and you're free to actually put her on the board and start folding her in. Just make sure that you dust whatever surface you're gonna put her on, just so that she won't stick, because she is very sticky, my friends. So eventually I got a somewhat decent tapioca flour, and we're gonna cut her into pieces after we fold her over. So once we get that, we can put her into balls, or what I attempted to make were balls. I'm very bad at sculpting, I'm really sorry guys. And we're gonna heat up the water. Eventually, once she's boiling, we can start putting the tapioca in there just so that she can finally cook. Usually you kind of want to put it up to your own discretion for this one. I decided to boil her for at least 10 to 15 minutes. That's what Elaine mentioned too. And eventually what you want to do is you drain her. So just make sure that while you're draining her, you also rinse her in cold water. This allows her to actually be a lot more chewier in the end. And while you're waiting for her to cool, you can start making the syrup. So if she decided to make a brown sugar syrup in her original recipe, I decided to kind of MacGyver and make it a honey one because I wanted a honey milk drink instead. And once you get it fully boiling, you can start putting the tapioca into the syrup of both yellow sugar and honey, as I did there. And once there, you can start to dress your cup into a really nice fashion. Add your ice as per usual, just to get that really nice cold drink effect for the summer. And once that's ready, you can start pouring in the milk. Because I'm lactose intolerant, I needed soy because we're trying not to get a stomach ache later in the end of the day. And there you go. That's your honey milk roasted boba. If you guys have any suggestions on improvements, please let me know. I had a lot of fun making it, even though it was a struggle, but I hope you guys have a better experience than I did. Have a great one. Bye.